Let's go live.
Hey guys, Tom Lobianco here, editor, co-founder, 24 Site News. Got with me Michael Cohen, the real Michael Cohen on Substack. What's up, man?
How you doing, Tom?
Hey, all right, guys. So if you watch us, all right, you read 24 Site, you know Cohen knows what's up, understands the Trump playbook. Okay. And there's nothing crazier going on right now than this Epstein scandal. So, dude, what are we looking at? What is this? What's he doing right now?
So I understand it because, in part, I actually created and wrote it. So let me say this Epstein scenario sort of has a lot of twists and turns to it, is about the best way that I could describe it.
Okay.
There's no doubt that there is a concern in the Trump camp over what exists inside that Epstein file. And we know that because that's the reason that they sent the number 2 guy, the Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, to go engage in conversation with Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, let me be very clear to our audience that had I still been, for example, in the mix, it would have been me who would go to meet with Ghislaine. Why? Well, because you're not going, as I wrote in my Substack of like 2 days ago, you're not going for the purpose of justice. You're not going in order to, act on behalf of the American people and the Department of Justice and the law. You're going there on what I define as the fact-finding mission. And let me be very clear about something too here, all right? Because everything with this Epstein case has to start being defined. It needs to also be explained, because not everything is the way that others are describing it. The fact that Todd Blanche went, while unusual, and I want people to understand this, it is not illegal. It is unusual, but not illegal. And that is extremely important because people are making this out to be much more than it is. There is no doubt in my mind that if Ghislaine knows nothing, which I suspect that she does know nothing, she would have, if she knew something, she would have given it up a long time ago, right? I mean, she's looking at a 20-year sentence. But on the remote chance that maybe there's a memory, maybe she knows of a photo, maybe she knows of somebody who's willing to speak or something. This is what Todd Blanche is doing. And why Todd Blanche? Because he is a loyalist.
Yeah.
He is a loyalist to the extreme. And again, I know what it's like to be a loyalist, and I know what he's willing to do. If there is information that could be damaging to Donald and to nobody else other than him, what they will do is they will contain that damaging information. You may say, okay, smartass, tell us, how would you do that? Well, the way you do things like that is you issue her a pardon, right? Or you give her a commutation. Better even than a pardon, because you still control her with a commutation. But part of the deal is twofold. One, you leave the country, maybe go to a place where there is no extradition, right? And number 2, and they'll set her up with nice quarters and money within which to buy food and so on.
Right.
And number 2, she signed some form of a Frankenstein NDA, one where she cannot write a book about this. She can't assist in documentaries. She can't do anything as it relates to this scenario.
And this is an extreme version of the Stormy Daniels playbook.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely an extreme. Look, Stormy Daniels was a relatively minor event. Stormy was an adult, and also, it was not a sexual assault. It was just an affair.
Right. Do you, and guys, for just joining us here, I'm Tom Lebianco, editor of KFN 24 Site News. We've got former Trump lawyer Michael Cohen. He knows the playbook, as he mentioned at the top of this thing, because he wrote it. All right. He knows this operation. And if you see folks behind me, these are actual tourists at the United States Capitol. This is not January 6th rioters. All right. These are people that actually love this place. Okay. So wave to all the tourists. All right. And they'll be watching.
And by the way, to those of you that are watching, do us a favor, smash the shit out of those red hearts, right?
Yes.
Because it helps to promote the fact that we're on. It's something to do with the algorithm, and that little square with the up arrow, that's a share box. Share this with family and friends. To those of you who maybe haven't read my Substack of the morning, which is really all about being tired, being exhausted, but refusing to back down. You cannot give up. I understand people are tired. On my show that I do, Raw and Unfiltered, on Wednesdays, Walsh Wednesday with Joe Walsh, one of the things Joe was saying to me before we actually went live is, he goes, Michael, I'm fucking exhausted. I'm exhausted. I want to take my head. I want to stick it in the sand. I want to close my eyes for like 6 months and re-energize. And I said to him, Joe, you can't talk like that, right? Because I hear many people talking like that. If we do that, apathy will set in. And the worst thing that we can do right now is be apathetic to the scenario that we are unfortunately thrust in. Everybody's talking about the midterm elections, and I think we need to use that as the segue for the next topic that we're going to talk about, which is, of course, what they're doing right now in Texas. Midterm, before the 10-year census is expired, that they're now gerrymandering, they're redistricting Texas for what? For the sole purpose. And Trump was listen, the one thing you got to say about Trump, for better or for worse, guy's fucking transparent. All right. He will turn around and he will tell you exactly what he's doing, regardless of how un-American, how unconstitutional, how grotesque it might be. He's not hiding behind any of it. He doesn't give a shit. So what did they decide to do? They've now used AI. They've used maps, and they're able to now quantify how you could redistrict areas to marginalize certain communities that are pro-Democrat, how to enhance parts that are pro-Republican, and to figure out how to pick up an additional 5 congressional seats for the midterms. Because they know right now, historically, number one, the party in power generally loses the House and sometimes the Senate. That's just historical. Not to mention, despite the fact Democrats' favorability numbers are in the toilet, Trump's are even worse. And as Americans start to understand, and not because Michael Cohen says it, not because Tom Lobianco says it, because your fucking wallet says it, because your credit card bill says it. Tariffs are taxes. Here's another 3-word slogan. Consumers pay tariffs. So if you're noticing right now that your toilet paper is more expensive, that the goods that you're buying from China are more expensive, or Indonesia, or the Philippines, or South Korea, it's because, let me say it again, and I want every Democrat to say it every single day, tariffs are taxes. Consumers pay tariffs, plain and simple. And when you go to the ballot box and you're saying to yourself, wait, hold on. Last year, the cost of goods was less than now. Holy shit, Michael Cohen was right. Tariffs are taxes and consumers pay tariffs. And that, which has been denied by these GOP members of the House and the Senate, you will vote their asses out of office because the Democratic candidate is telling you we need to take control of either or both for the sole purpose of stopping the destruction of our tripartite system of government, where the checks and balances on the executive branch are no longer just rubber stamped.
Yeah. Let me show you guys something here. If you can see behind me, look out you might be able to see it back there. It's a little washed out. The Supreme Court's right over there. That's one of the branches. Here's the House. I'm on the House side right now. Guys.
Where were you, in the Rayburn building?
Oh no, I'm up on the third floor, right outside the one of the press galleries here.
Got it.
Yeah, baby. And I'll tell you, after January 6th and everything that went down, I used to chafe so much at the tourists because it's so hard to navigate this place when you got all these extra bodies around here. After that happened, and after COVID, I was like, I fucking love the tourists. I love seeing these guys here coming to celebrate democracy. All right. Everybody here is the one living this. All right. I'm living it. Jesus. Like, I mean, but I used to pay like $100 for groceries. Now I pay like $150 at least, every week. So you got more people going to Aldi. All right.
And when people start to feel it, and remember, increased costs on goods. By the way, folks, do I have to remind you? Do not stop smashing that red heart.
Right.
Do not stop. It helps us to get more people into the room to grow this community. All right. 24 site news is extremely important. In fact, I may even send to you today, Tom, my Substack from the day. Maybe you throw it up on your digital, because my concern, I'm going to do it as soon as we get off. But my concern, Tom, is as follows. The second that you turn around and you feel tired, and then you disengage from this fight, they win and we lose. And I will not allow that to happen. I don't care. People turn around and they say, Cohen, you're always so negative. You're always pushing at us. You're always telling us, that we need to fight. We need to stay engaged and so on. We're just too tired to do it. And I say, really? Yeah. How are you going to respond to your children or to your grandchildren, or God willing, your great grandkids, when they say, during all of this bullshit, what the fuck were you doing? What did you do to help preserve our democracy? Where were you in the fight? Oh, I'm so sorry, grandma or grandpa or mom or dad or sister or brother or aunt or uncle. I understand that you were tired. All right. I understand that. And I'm so sorry for your, for your being, for that feeling that must have been overwhelming. But because you were tired and you decided to take a break and the midterms went the wrong way, I lost my fucking constitutional rights, right? It's more than just a woman losing the decision over her own reproductive system. It will be as well the LGBTQ plus communities on issues like, what's it, Obergefell, right? Same-sex marriage, which is now in play, all right, by these states, that it's not going to be a federally protected right. It's going to be determined by the state. So God help you if you are part of that community and you live in a deep ruby red state. What happens when places like Florida, with fucknuts like Ron DeSantis and others, turn around and they end up saying, you know what, we are not going to acknowledge the Obergefell case, very much like they disavowed Roe versus Wade. Florida, which historically has had a very large LGBTQ plus community, pack your shit and get the fuck out of our state, because it's illegal for, say, two men to live together who aren't members of the same family.
Yeah.
All right. Or for two men or two women to be married. And so we're going to disavow in this state, they'll have the right to do that. I got even better for you. As soon as they're finishing fucking up the LGBTQ plus community, here's another one that they're going after. Interracial marriage. And people like, stop it, right? Stop it. You stop it. All right. How about, I think the name of that case is called Blasting Game, right? Where they're doing the exact same thing. It will not be federal. It will be turned over to the states under states' rights. Well, what's going to happen when you're going to go into some of these racist, ruby red states and they turn around? Maybe, I was thinking about this because this will ultimately end up before the Supreme Court. Maybe Clarence Thomas actually hates his wife. Maybe that'll be one way that he'll turn around and he'll be able to get rid of her. I'm sorry, hon. It's illegal for the two of us to be married. For 40 years of marriage, I've been wanting to say this to you for a long time. Fuck out of my house.
Dude, that's the Trumpiest answer to anything, right? Like change the entire fucking rules, right? Just for that one fucking thing.
Could you imagine? We're living in a dystopia. We are living in what could ultimately become Gilead on steroids. All right. And make no bones about it. It's why I will not. You think I'm not tired? Seriously? I understand. Oh my God. You know what you do? You get a notification. Michael Cohen, Tom Lopianco are on. Oh, I'm going to now click on. I'm going to watch them. I'm going to laugh at some of the crazy shit that comes out of Cohen's mouth. And, we're going to support him and Tom. And by the way, if you're a Michael supporter, please subscribe to Tom and 24 Site News. If you're a Tom Lobianco and a 24 Site News subscriber, please subscribe to mine at The Real Michael Cohen. And all these other fucking impersonators, just block them. All right? Yeah. If it doesn't have my check mark next to it with 61,000 subscribers, get rid of it. It's a fake. All right? And if it's my mom, I'm telling you, my mom's not on Substack. Get rid of that too. All right.
It's a Russian. Clearly.
It most certainly is. So, look, you think I'm not tired? Every morning I get up at 4:30, between 4:30 to 5, and I write my Substack. It's out by 8 o'clock in the morning. It takes time to write these things when you want it to be good. All right. I do a show every single day. Mondays is generally, unless he cancels on me, Jim Acosta. Tuesday, I have with Don Lemon. Wednesday with Joe Walsh. Today at 4 o'clock, I have it with Malcolm Nance and Lev Parnas. And tomorrow, I do it with Jolly Good Ginger. Saturday and Sundays, I go live for my paid subscribers and also for the general audience, as a weekend wrap up. So, then I end up coming on other people's shows like yours, Tom, and other folks. And why? You think I'm not tired from all of this? I also have my Mea Culpa podcast, and at 4:30 to 5:30 today, #1 rated show on YouTube, right, in the world, mine and Ben Meiselas of Midas Touch Network. It's called Political Beatdown. So, I am freaking tired. I'm tired of politics. I'm tired of talking about this shit. I could have a much easier life by not doing this. But then what am I going to turn around and say to folks down the road when they say, couldn't you have done something? Why didn't you do more? Well,
Who do you think? I want to ask you something, man, because, you have done such a good job of helping to teach Democrats, what these tactics are, what the strategies are of being successful in this world. So many Democrats still don't understand this. Who are the Democrats that you see right now who do get this? Who understands this and who's doing it well?
Jamie Raskin.
Okay.
Jasmine Crockett.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Swalwell. You have, let's see, who else? There's quite a few that are out there. Raja Krishnamoorthi, kind of gets it. I can go on and talk about Congressman Steve Cohen for certain gets it. Dan Goldman gets it. you know, there are a lot of Democrats that get it. The problem, though, is what are they doing with it? Because it's not up to the Raskins, the Steve Cohens, the Swalwells, the Krishnanuthis, the Goldmans, and others. It's not up to them in order. Obviously, Ocasio-Cortez gets it. I mean, there's quite a few people who get it. I'll tell you who I don't think gets it. All right. Our leadership. I don't think Chuck Schumer gets it. I think he's too busy playing his game of politics. I don't even think Hakeem Jeffries gets it. I don't think Cory Booker gets it. I just don't. You know who really doesn't get it? Ken Martin, the new head of the DNC. He's no different than Jamie Harrison, our former head of the DNC. Let me be very clear to those, because we're finally beginning to get some steam here with people. Please, again, keep hitting that red heart and keep sharing this with other people, because this is important stuff. They don't get it. They don't get how to fight this fight. I'll tell you who gets it. Governor Gavin Newsom. All right. As we listen to, again, this gerrymandering, and ultimately, again, because Trump knows that the Republican Party is in trouble for the midterms, simply not even about him. It's not even about him. It's historically. That's what generally happens, though his favorability numbers are very poor. They're now trying to stack the deck. Okay? So what does Gavin Newsom say? All right, listen up. You pull that shit in Texas, I'm doing the same shit here in California. And then the same with, who gets it? Governor Pritzker, J.B. Pritzker gets it. Where he said, let me tell you something. You pull that shit, we're doing it in Illinois too, assholes. All right? Yeah. You want to now start creating a referendum on every governor that is, in every state? Yeah. And by the way, not every state does this even work. Right? Because it could simply backfire. So there are states like Texas that they know how to do it. And again, it's because of the size. Yeah. So some of these smaller states, you can't gerrymander the district, the way that you want. But states like Illinois, large. California, large. New York, large. Right? We can figure out how to do it. We could pick up 25 seats. So you really want to play that game? Meanwhile, despite all of this, despite all of it, what does Texas do? They turn around and they file the new gerrymandered map yesterday. So when I tell you that we are truly in a constitutional crisis, we are in an American moral crisis. It's why you don't have the right to be tired. You don't have the right to take a step back. You could take a step back, breathe, re-energize, and then re-engage. If you don't engage, we're doomed. Yeah.
Something that you say routinely, you write this, and it's at the bottom of every one of your Substacks, and we've talked about this before, is the importance of community, the importance of being together. All right. And, I've seen this, ironically, politics, as somebody who's covered it for 25 years. Politics very often is just, it's a hammer, right? It's whoever's wielding it. You can build a house, you can knock down a house, all right? You can do anything with it. I would see MAGA and like Michael Flynn on these tent revival tours do a very good job of engaging in community. Now, what they're selling is wrong, all right? Demonstrably, I say this as a reporter, it's inaccurate, all right? Stolen election, never happened, okay? But in terms of engaging, and I think that's something that you talk about a lot, which I think is really important for, why would people stay engaged? Community. All right. Everybody here, right? Hitting that love button, showing up, talking with each other. All right. Saw some great names earlier for Democrats who get it coming up in the chat here. Chris Murphy, Pritzker, we mentioned. All right. So that's the community is really, that's really important. All right. And I think, we're all starting to capture that. What's some ways we keep building community, having people be engaged with each other?
Well, one of the things I would say is I don't know if you have like a merch store or something like that, but these 3-word slogans, we all need to get on the same page. How about just run up and through 2026 midterm elections? Americans deserve better. Don't we? Don't we? Seriously, don't we deserve better? I think we do. You can say, like, veterans deserve respect. The fact that they're taking money out of the VA, they're cutting VA jobs that are used in order to help veterans, whether it's physical ailments or mental impairments as a result of PTSD from their time in service. We ask. Nothing angers me more. Well, many things anger me, but this is pretty much at the top of my top 5 list. When I see a veteran taking their life because of massive depression, PTSD, or you hear about the number of veterans who are homeless. Hey, folks, we accept these people going to shitholes like Afghanistan and Iran and Iraq. And we ask them to put their lives on the line for our Constitution, all right? For our rights, for our safety as America. And when they come back, what do? We say thank you. And how? We cut off their medical support, whether it's, again, physical or mental.
Yeah.
We turn around and we make it more difficult for them to reintegrate. And those that do have PTSD, they end up homeless and we do nothing. Seriously? This is the way that you would say thank you to somebody who is protecting your rights, protecting your country? Shame on us. Shame on all of us for allowing it. The fact that there's even one veteran out there homeless, the fact that there's every single day a veteran who takes their life, male, female, makes no difference, that they take their lives because we don't provide them with adequate support, shame on us. Veterans deserve respect.
Amen.
Protect
Amen.
our veterans.
Yeah.
We must all coalesce around a handful of concepts. Trump did it. 3-word slogans: build the wall.
Yeah, that's right.
Lock her up.
Yeah.
Mass deportation now. Right?
Yeah.
What else? There's so many more.
Release the Epstein files.
Yeah, right. I mean, just think about all of the one that he beat Kamala Harris on.
Oh, yeah.
Gasoline and groceries.
Yeah, right. And the trans stuff, they're not us.
Everything are 3-word bumper stickers.
Mm.
And what they do, they don't get off of it. They do not ever step away. Every single enabler, every sycophant, every single surrogate that goes on television, they all say the same thing.
Yes.
All say, and we have to do the same thing. We have to make sure that our message continues to resonate. And here's the thing: truth always trumps lies.
Amen. Dude, I know you got to run a bit because you were nonstop, man. Nonstop. What you got coming up next? What's on the horizon?
What's on the horizon? I have a podcast for my YouTube channel, the Michael Cohen Show. I have a recording that I'm going to do on Caroline Levitt's presser, because they are always a shit show of lies, misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation.
Yeah.
And again, my goal is to call it out.
Yeah.
I'll call it out every day. By the way, and I want people to understand this as well. If hypothetically Trump did something today that was good for all Americans. I'm not talking about his one percenters. I'm talking about for all America. I'd be the first one doing a show on it.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
I would. My shows are not about, there are many that are so simply about shitting on the guy. No, I call out the facts. And I used my historical knowledge in order to correct the message, to basically fact check the
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah.
And then
Amen.
after that, I have my podcast with Ben Meiselas on YouTube, Political Beatdown. And as soon as that's over, I have it with Lev and Malcolm Nance on Substack right here.
Good God, man. You sleep?
A few hours.
You could be tired, as you said, or you could be tired, you could be tireless. All right.
Exactly.
And that's how we do it. All right. Okay, man. I know you gotta run. If you don't already, guys, if you're watching this, you probably already do, but make sure to go over the real Michael Cohen Substack. All right, 61,000 subscribers. Don't subscribe to his mom. That's fake. All right, that's probably Russian. All right, and you know where to find me aside from up here at the Capitol. 24 Site News. Okay, I'm posting this later. And read this. I'm going to put this out with the newsletter this afternoon. Okay,
I'm going to send you my one on not being exhausted and tired.
Yes, this is crucial, guys. All right, your community. All right, stay engaged. All right, see you tomorrow. All right, I got Brian Rosenwald from University of Pennsylvania coming on. All right, we're going to talk about the state of the maps. All right, we're talking more about Texas. All right, talk more about what's coming up in the midterms. Cohen, thanks, brother.
Tom, great to see you, brother.
All right, see you.
Bye.